Good morning. We got people walking in right now. Let's give them all a round of applause. Yeah. Hey. Good morning, everybody. I welcome you to the Florence Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. My name is Sally Watts, and it is my pleasure to be with you today. If you wouldn't mind checking on those cellular devices to make sure they're turned off or on silent, it would be appreciated. Thank you. So for those who don't know, maybe you're here for the first time, we stand on the land of the first people of this area, the Saisla Indians. And we honor and give thanks to them, those in the past, present, and future. So let's officially open our Sunday service. We're going to sing Spirit of Life. The words are on the front, or it's number 123 in your hymnal if you need to follow along in that respect. So stand up, let's sing Spirit of Life with Jeff Lovejoy. Yay, Jeff! And we have the Latin mix.
Spirit of life, come unto me, sing in my heart, all stirs of passion, blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Thank you, Jeff. Yay! So I know we have at least one person here today for the very first time. That's Kathleen O'Higgins. Now I know Kathleen because we've been writing back and forth on our Gmail account for 2 years now. And Kathleen finally showed up today, so Kathleen, stand up.
I'm an introvert, so this is a stretch for me. This is my Christmas present to myself. You have sustained me for 2 years during this pandemic. Thank you so much. And Catherine, Bernie Bull and everything else. You've just done such a...
You're a Christmas present to us.
Yes. And is there anyone else here today for the first time? Deborah, good to meet you. And your name is?
This is not her first time, but this is my friend Christine, who's visiting for Portland. She has been here before.
Christy, welcome back. Welcome back. Anybody else? Everybody else looks kind of familiar, but I do have a gift for you. Christy, did you get one of our books before?
I think so, yeah.
You want another one? So, excuse me. Hold on. Gotta do the mask. Gotta do the mask. So this is our gift to you. One little brochure about who we are. And I'm going to give you another one, so you can share it with whoever. Okay? I have girlfriends around the country, and I gave them this for a gift many years ago. Every once in a while they write to me and say, love that book, turn to page 22, let's read it together. So it just kind of brings a smile to my face. So thank you for being here. So following today's service, we have a couple of things happening. We've got Donna Smith will be here, and she will be doing her dialogue circle, which means you all can sit and talk with Donna about her message today, followed by her class calling Raising Consciousness. And I think Donna would love to host this in the library, okay? If Catherine wouldn't mind doing affirmative prayer over here, I've got it sealed off for you so it's nice and private, okay? Thank you. So there's that. And then also listed in here are some people with birthdays. We've got a winter solstice celebration coming up at St. Andrews at 1 o'clock on the 21st. Soul Matters class on the 21st also. Well, that's the 20th, winter solstice, right? Or is it the 21st?
What, oh, I'm sorry.
The winter solstice.
Oh, it's tomorrow. It's tomorrow at 1 o'clock. I'm going to say something about
Okay,
it
good.
right now.
Okay, anyway. And then Burning Bowl next week with Catherine. She's going to talk about it in a minute. So, anyway, that's your program to take with you so you can follow what's going on. And if you're joining us virtually, then I hope you can check us out on the website for all of our classes in our calendar. And remember, we're taping this, so if you come forward to speak, know that you're going to be on a camera. If you choose not to be on camera, I can bring a microphone to you, okay? And let's see, are there any other announcements to share?
Yes.
Announcements?
Yes.
Come forward, share. Come forward, share. That's it.
So, well, first I'm going to mention something again about the solstice tomorrow. So Rosemary Alden and I will be conducting the solstice ritual at the labyrinth behind St. Andrews at 1 o'clock, as we said. So solstice and equinox rituals are as ancient as the existence of human beings. Before any organized religions, there was an acknowledgement of the natural world and what it meant to those inhabiting that world. The solstice marks the returning of the light, though we don't see it yet. Okay, wrote this morning, so. But we know the light will expand, as it always does. How do we want to nurture the expansion of light and love in our hearts? So, question that. Ask yourselves that.
You don't have the answer?
It's a personal one, isn't it? And so I want to announce about the burning bowl. I thought I'd put it in announcements. I will be doing the burning bowl ceremony next week, and I want you to start thinking about it. Some use the ceremony for what we want to give up, or something akin to a New Year's resolution. You know, lose those COVID pounds, stop drinking every night, etc. All good things, all good things. But ritual fires, can be used for some deep soul searching. If this is a sacrificial fire, one could burn what keeps you from your heart's desire. What stands on the way of true connection to someone else? What keeps us from giving and accepting love? For those of you invested in the Unitarian Universalist principles, pick one or more and contemplate what keeps you from being an exemplar of these principles. The more meaning one can give to a ritual, the deeper it can affect our psyche. So I'll provide paper and pencil and a time to write and a receptacle to burn in. But if you're going to write this first at home, please do it on the thinnest paper possible because of the smoke factor, okay? The masks will help this year, but still, if you can. If you're going to do it along with us at home, of course, that's great, the privacy of your home. Though rituals seem to gather strength in gatherings, similar to group meditations. Thank you.
Yeah, I think this is Catherine's third time in a row we've done this, and we did it years ago, and we have a smoke alarm, so we have to disable the smoke alarm, or we all have to go outside, and I don't want to do that. So at this point, I've been asked to maybe ask if you all want to just turn to the person next to you, behind you, and in front of you, and just say, good morning. We'll get to you in a second, Ann. Just say good morning. Great people. Great, these are people. I know, I didn't hear.
I have.
Where did you say you guys were?
Were you there yesterday?
Florence is near.
Do you like jazz?
Last year we were on lockdown, so I didn't go back to the inn all the time. I just think
Okay, thank you. Thank you. For those of you watching this at home, I hope you went outside and greeted and met people. I don't mind me. So we're going to continue with our chalice lighting, okay? The words are especially important for our upcoming winter solstice on the tomorrow date. Judy's going to help. Let there be light. The light of joy, the light of happiness, and and the light of contentment. May it illuminate our paths and fill our lives with peace. And let there be dark, for it is from the dark places that we are brought forward, tried and tested and impelled toward growth. As it is these places that we realize compassion and learn to love. And there was day and there was night, and there was joy and there was sorrow, and all is good. Blessed be. So I invite Jeff Lovejoy to come forward to lead us in our responsive reading titled Opening to Joy. So Jeff, and then when Jeff is complete, Catherine will come forward and lead us in our joys and concerns.
I'm looking forward to being complete. The reading this morning is from Opening to Joy from December's Soul Matters. It's easy to get tricked, taken for a ride, convinced that joy is a possession.
As if the holiday is a special delivery, waiting for us to inhabit and keep it forever.
And who can blame us, with pain being so prevalent? Sadness seems to stay. Why can't joy?
But maybe it's elusive for a reason. Maybe it's slippery in order to help us understand that it could appear to fly.
Or better yet, to be flung, to be passed, not possessed, to be spread between you and me, between the ones who received its gift and the ones that have been looking for its treasure for a very long time.
Maybe it's a beautiful and elegant connotation over which we have more control than we think. If only we share it, if only we notice that joy is not ours to keep, but ours to give.
Maybe joy opens us as much as we open to it.
Maybe that's the way the light leaks into our world.
Thank you, Jeff. I know that Soul Matters packet this month and every month was really special, really amazing. Loved it. Okay, this is the time of our service for joys and concerns. Again, as last week, I encourage you to pay particular attention to each other during this time. Whether in your own home with those closest to you, not taking them for granted, for instance, or with those that you know that live alone, or those who are a caregiver for a spouse or a friend, a phone call, an offer of time or tea or a Christmas cookie can make a difference. If you have something to share, you know, if you've been here before, you line up around here. Sally will hand you the microphone.
I have the microphone if you want to come forward, or I can bring it to you, whichever you prefer. Anyone? Joy or concern? Donna? Ann, you want me to come back? I can come to you, Ann.
When I was the minister at Unity, we opened our church to the homeless. And I just have just a deep connection to them, so I would like to place a show. They find warmth and they find a place to stay safe.
Amen.
Thank you. Donna, you want to drop your shell, or you want me to?
Can I?
Sure, please do. Ann, I've been asked to ask you to speak into the microphone more clearly, so we can hear you better.
Well, as an ex-teacher, I ought to be able to know how to do that. It's interesting you mentioned the homeless, because my shell is appreciation to food for once again opening this nice big, well-aired out room this afternoon for a small meeting of 6 members of our board of our project that Dave and I started 4 years ago called Safe Shelter for SIASLA students. And we are moving forward slowly. We finally have one host home qualified. And we are hoping eventually, maybe some group, somebody here in Food might open their home to take in a homeless teenager. I want to make sure you all know that legally, there is not a legal place in this town for a homeless, on-the-road teenager to sleep. Not a church, not a civic group, and the parents that take in their friends, their son's or daughter's friend, are doing it at their own risk. But we now have one qualified host home. The Safe Families of Eugene, which is a national group. We are now the West County organization of Safe Families of Eugene. And we are looking for more host homes. But it's interesting that food has now twice provided a safe place for our safe shelter of Stanislaw students to be. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Anybody else? Okay. One shell for those we don't know about, Sally. Those too caught up in their dark memories or unconscious repetitious behavior. The light of our strong community embraces and includes you. I finished with something also from the Soul Matters packet because I was so impressed with it this time. Feeling good is not frivolous, it is freedom. Joy is the justice we give ourselves. Blessed be.
And now we have Donna Smith, the Reverend Donna Smith, who traveled all the way from Sutherland or Roseburg? Sutherland. Nice drive over, had a little breakfast, and now she's here to share her message about joy with you. So please welcome Donna Smith.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My drive over was enhanced by the elk. They were so close to the road, they're so beautiful, and they were just lying there in the rain. I thought, wow, freedom, freedom. So just a minute here and I'll get myself organized. Joy is the source of happiness. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good to see you, by the way. Story of Mary and Joseph and the birth of the Christ child in a manger continues to resonate with us more than 2,000 years later. Even those who do not believe that Jesus was the only Son of God, we still look forward to the celebration at Christmas. So there's something in this celebration that touches us in some way for us to do this. We light the candles of Advent that represent what Christmas means to each of us in our own way. The light is a universal symbol of goodness and promise. The flickering flames soothe us, don't they? Because they remind us that we are light beings, and it touches our hearts deeply. Now, one Sunday is Hope and Faith, and that's where we experience what we have as an intellectual understanding of how things work, and a deep inner knowing arising from our hearts. It is the Christmas promise of infinite good and love everlasting. Advent Sunday peace. Peace is what we will strive for in our daily lives. Christmas is that time when we come together with this calling forth with prayer, with intentions, and I guess a desire for peace, not only within us, but in our world. And it becomes more powerful when we unite and do that together. And have you ever noticed that during this time of year, you see the word peace in so many languages? It's really beautiful, I think. And then the Sunday of Love. There's an incredible sense of power and freedom in both giving and receiving love. And especially if we do this without any conditions or expectations. And that experience can be so profound that the giving and the receiving kind of morphs to where you don't know if you're the receiver or the giver. It's so beautiful. So today is another Sunday of joy, Advent Sunday. And they're different in the different churches, I've noticed. But today we're going to talk about joy, because that's our theme for this month. Now, what does this thing mean to you? Okay. Biblically, joy represented the anticipation of the birth of the Savior. He was going to save them from their oppressors. And it was prophesied that the Messiah would do this. However, as we know, the Savior, or Jesus, came and did not come for that purpose. No, he came to show us who we are, to open our hearts and our minds to this knowing and this truth. But they didn't understand that, because that's not what they were expecting. So, whether or not you believe that Jesus is the only Son of God, or whether you believe he was a brother walking this earth just like we are, or some even think that he didn't even exist, all of that is okay. It's all okay, because it's what is in your heart that works for you that matters, always. Now, I'm always reminded of the saying, maybe it happened, maybe it didn't, but it could be true. And that's what I see with this story. Maybe it did happen the way it's written in the Bible, or the way other people have written it, or maybe it didn't. But when we look at the messages and the teachings in these stories that can resonate truth with us, that's what's important. So in other words, instead of looking at the messenger, look at the messages. Look at the messages. This is what's going to help you. And the real messengers that come are not expecting you to look at them. Okay, they came with the message for you and your growth. Now, I look at life in a woo-woo way, and you've all accepted that. My first time here, Sally told me you liked woo-woo. And really, I haven't seen anything yet. However, I have a new book. Why Woo-Woo Works. I just started reading it, but it's so exciting because it's scientific evidence that woo-woo works. So I'm going to be talking to you more about that. So I think that's a good thing. Well, I listened to Dean and Ruth's wonderful sermons, and I was left thinking, what in the world am I going to say now? They're so expert at giving us wonderful sermons. So you're going to kind of, I'm going to present you with some of my personal experiences. Now, we are divine beings of love, and I truly believe that that is true. And if it were not true, I think we would have destroyed ourselves by now with the weight of the negativity of the world. Because the power of love is so enormous that it keeps that negativity down to where we do not destroy ourselves. Now, the most empowering awareness is when you understand, okay, that you are already it. Meaning, you are already love, you are already light, you are already joy, peace, and you are already whole. That is your truth. So you are in control of these aspects of yourself. And that will continue until you decide that you want someone else to have control over you. That's a choice that we make. So if you are love, light, peace, joy, and wholeness, then we can't find that outside of us, can we? No, because we already have it. It doesn't seem like we have it in the world that we live in today. But so many are looking outside for all of this that they're longing for without knowing it's right here already. As the saying goes, what does that say? Looking for love in all the wrong places. Yeah. And and I hear so often statements like, what is there to be happy about? The world seems to be going to hell in a handbasket. And I never understood that. Hell in a handbasket. How do you even picture that? So anyway, I looked it up. I Googled it last night. And, there was all kinds of different ways that they explained all of this. But the main reason was it was catchy. Okay, hell in a handbasket. So whatever that means to you, I don't know. So I remember one day, I was cooking dinner before my husband came home. I was in the ultimate existence of joy. I was cooking, I was singing, I was dancing a little bit. I was having a wonderful time preparing this meal. And my husband came home, and he had had a very tough day. And he says, "What are you so happy about?" Well, I felt like my joy just exploded and left. It was like my balloon was popped. And I became so sad that I had to go into the other room and cry. And I'll never forget that feeling. I just couldn't get my joy back. Now, one might say, well, that was a terrible thing for Jerry to say. And yes, at the time it was. However, it was one of my greatest lessons. And it took a while to process this, let me tell you. But I did learn a great lesson. I allowed someone else to not take my joy away, but to cover it up, so to speak. I allowed that to happen. You know, it was kind of like you put it on the back burner for me. But anyway, it was gone. I wasn't feeling it anymore. But no one can take your joy from you. However, your joy can be put on the back burner, as I said, and it can be covered up. And I allowed this to happen. So I took responsibility for it, okay? And it really had nothing to do with Jerry other than he was there to show me this. Okay, when you can look at another person in that way, that's when you begin to learn your lessons, because that's why everyone is with us. We're all in these soul groups to help each other. And when they upset us, that's one of our greatest teachers, which I know I've shared with you before. So, you can allow that to happen, or you can remain in your joy. And I had a choice, okay? Now, I think what I would do is stay in my joy to help him find his joy. You see the difference? Yeah. And that's growth, and that's learning, and that's helping others. And so if he were here, I would do that. Now, joy is a consciousness, okay? And it is, again, a consciousness that you choose to express. But nothing or no one gives you joy or takes it from you. In John 16:22, it reads, "And your joy no man will take away from you." So, you choose to share your joy, okay? And you also choose not to share it. It's up to you. You express your empowerment when you are willing to share your joy. And you know when you do that, you are not only helping those right in front of you, you are helping the world. Every act of joy, every act of love, every act of compassion, affects everything. Everything. And I'm speaking not only of just those in front of you and our world, but I'm talking about the universe, which is infinite, if you can believe. I mean, I can't wrap my mind around that, but that's how powerful we are. So that's why it's important to be aware of your thoughts and your actions and your words. And what are you doing to the world when you use those? Now, if you need help in doing this, well, then as Dean said, go fishing. Go fishing. And as I would say to you, go on an adventure, go traveling, go to the beach. Oh, you're at the beach. Go inland. Go to Roseburg, go to True Restaurant. They have the best margaritas in the world. And, find something that's going to just make that joy pop out. And, if it's fishing, that's fine. But find something, and there is always something. You don't even have to go anywhere. Just look around you. Look at yourself in the mirror. Yeah, some people are afraid to do that. But, it's very important. Way back when I didn't love myself, my mentor said, look in the mirror every morning and say, "I love you, Donna." It took me 2 years. And one day I said it, and I realized I meant it. You know, it's that beautiful kind of love. You know, that you know, I realized, wow, I am lovable. And so is everybody else. Everybody is. So, I think some of you can kind of relate to that. When my mother was experiencing a dementia, she was living with us for a while. And she told me one day that she needed a new purse. Well, I had a lot of purses, and that was when, in those days when, you know, it was get more, get more. I'm not there anymore. It's get less, get less. Okay. But I had lots of purses, and so she chose one of those purses. And then she sat there for about an hour, you know, changing her purse, putting it, you know, her things in the new purse, and then changing it again. She was in so much joy. And I was sitting there watching this, and let me tell you, my joy just bubbled up, just watching her joy. Her eyes were sparkling, and she had these beautiful light blue, baby blue eyes. They were absolutely gorgeous, and she would look at me, just sparkling. And, you know, I think it's what you call synergy. As we were there sharing our love and our joy, we went beyond the physical. We went into the cosmic presence, and I've never felt such joy and love. And I think all of you have probably been there before. You know what I'm talking about. It's indescribable, that kind of joy. And it is a cosmic expression of who we truly are. Now, you know who has absolutely no problem expressing joy? That child. I was going to share a text, but I don't think it would come through of my 5-month-old grandniece. First time she giggled, I play it over and over and over. And first time she's, you know, literally from her tummy just giggling. But you know, I also want to share a story about a friend of mine who's no longer with us, but she was telling me one day that when her children were small, she had a young boy that was 3, I think it was. They had never gone to church, they had never talked about God. You know, it just wasn't in their family at that time. And one day they went to the beach, and this little 3-year-old boy was running through the surf there in the sand saying, "Thank you, God, thank you, God, thank you, God." These children know who they are. They might not be able to express it, but they know in their heart. And, you know, I can't begin to think of anything more precious than that. You know, and it's there until, you know, the world kind of covers it up for them sometimes. And that's kind of sad, but I think we're learning more now that we need to be more like a child. And we need to learn from our children. Now, if that didn't bring forward your joy, you know, that's okay. I know somebody that doesn't like roses. I know somebody that doesn't like hummingbirds. I know somebody that doesn't like my cooking. Don't figure, right? But all of that is okay, because, you know, life is like a smorgasbord. I mean, just unlimited possibilities, if you can even begin to wrap that around your head, okay? And you pick those things from this smorgasbord. And what you pick does not mean that what you do not pick is bad or wrong. It just means that you have a preference for what you pick. So, if you don't like my cooking, it's okay. You know, but it's your preference and your choice, and all of that is, that's why we have this wonderful community of humanity. If we were all the same, wow, wouldn't that be boring? Wouldn't that be boring? Yeah, say the same things, you know, do the same things. No, the spice of life is beauty. Now your joy, as I said, is always with you, but we can cover it up, can't we? Okay? We can cover it up with unforgiveness. We can cover it up with anger, resentments. A big one is unworthiness. We cover it up. We think we're unworthy. And we've been taught that in many ways, but now we know different. And so now we can change our thinking about that. Stand in front of that mirror every morning, and that helps. You know, and the list can go on and on and on about those things. Wayne Dyer said, "It is impossible for you to be angry and laugh at the same time." Yeah. Anger and laughter are mutually exclusive, and you have the power to choose either. Wonderful words. Archbishop Tutu said in the Book of Joy, have you read that? Great book. If you set out and say, "I want to be happy," clenching your teeth with determination, this is the quickest way of missing the bus, he says. Yes. He and the Dalai Lama then presented the 8 pillars of joy. 4 were the qualities of the mind, perspective. Your life is created through your perspective. Humility, humor, and acceptance. I talked about acceptance a little bit last time I was here, how important it is. If you do not accept what is, you cannot transcend it. All of these are topics for many sermons, many sermons. The other 4 were qualities of the heart: forgiveness, gratitude, compassion, and generosity. So when we focus on these qualities, the layers covering your joy will naturally fall away, because there's nothing to cover it anymore. And that's one of the main reasons that we focus on others instead of ourselves. Rabindranath, sorry if I mispronounced that, Tagore wrote, "I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and saw that life was service. And I acted, and behold, service was joy." And in the Way of Mastery it reads, "Service then is the natural outflow of a heart filled with the gratitude of grace. Masters are never found struggling to survive in something they do not like. They would frankly rather sit on a street corner asking passersby for a nickel or 2 to get a cup of coffee. Meanwhile, they are too busy smiling and waving and blessing everyone that walks by, because they would rather love than look good in the world. A master has no choice but to serve not from duty, but from joy. For the greatest joy can be to extend the good, the holy, and the beautiful." You are not living and intending to something outside of you. You are living and intending from the divinity within you. Now, the Way of Mastery reads, "Creation is merely a harmless game, done for the simple enjoyment of creating. Become then again as a little child, for every master is a little child, delighting in the great mystery and the seeming surprises of discovering the power that can move through them. Always move toward what you enjoy. Always follow your heart." And André Nolan said, "Joy does not simply happen to us. We have to choose joy and keep choosing it every day." Now, choosing joy is very good for your health. Do you know that?
Yes.
Catherine Ponder, Unity minister, once wrote, she was very practical. She said, "If people only knew the healing power of laughter and joy, many of our fine doctors would be out of business." Joy is one of nature's greatest medicines. Joy is always healthy. A pleasant state of mind tends to bring abnormal conditions back to normal. And I know I've heard lots of stories, and you probably have too, about people who just changed their perspective and chose laughter and joy, and they healed themselves from even cancer. okay? Because loving your body is very, very, very important for its healing process. Now, Tuesday, December 1st is the winter solstice, and it's a time when the days get longer and we see more light. Now, we will be symbolically coming out of a period of rest and inner reflection in the stillness of the darkness, wherein our inner wisdom is being revealed to us. This inner wisdom will break through at the solstice to be experienced as greater awareness, newness, and evolution, a sense of greater opportunities. The light and the longer days feel good because, again, they remind us that we are beings of light. It is a representation of the birth of newness, the awareness of the divinity within us, as the birth of Jesus reflects. That was his purpose, to show us the light within us, the power within us, the creativity within us, and the unlimited possibilities within us. Now, next Sunday, Catherine will present the burning bowl that you spoke to us about, wherein we will release what no longer serves us. And on January 16th, I will be here to present the white stone ceremony. They kind of go hand in hand, just releasing and then affirming what you want. It's kind of like, the universe doesn't like a vacuum, so we're going to fill it with what we want. And so I have white stones for us all. And these are from Hebron, Israel. They come from a place where the matriarchs and patriarchs are said to be buried. They're very sacred area there. And I have stones for all of us during that time that we can put on here what we want and what we hold for us. And so I'm looking forward to that. I will also be seeing you next Sunday because I've already given 2 burning bowl ceremonies and I want to receive from Catherine. I just be here and receive. It's going to feel so good. So I'm so looking forward to that. So now I'd like to invite you to join me in some meditation. Okay? So please get very comfortable in your chair. Maybe close your eyes. And just breathe. And as you get into that relaxed place, and you feel your body relaxing, thank your body for relaxing. Your body needs love and gratitude also. And so breathe in. Now bring your awareness to your heart. Feel it beating to the rhythm of the universe. Your beautiful heart. Breathe into your heart. And now think of someone or something that brings great joy to you. Feel your joy bubbling up within you. Feel your love and your appreciation bubbling up within you. And it feels so good. It feels so good. This wonderful relaxed state. Mentally take note or make a list of all the people and the things in this smorgasbord of life that touches the joy within you. And as you think of them, give thanks, for they are a blessing to you. richness of opportunities. The support of the universe. The healing acts of service and compassion. And say to the love that you are, and the unconditional love of God, and the light beings who are always with us, guiding us. Listen for the joy that is always being given to you, and open to receive the joy of others. We are blessed. And remember that you have come here to sing and dance and play and create the good, the holy, and the beautiful. And so when you're ready, just bring your attention back here. Thank you, Jeff, for that wonderful music. And I just want to say I am so grateful for each and every one of you, because you know what? My joy just explodes when I see you. Thank you very much.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful. And I really love the meditation and the music. Jeff, it's a good combination. Thank you very, very much. Joy. Okay. I'm coming back now to the business at hand. We do an offering every Sunday. I've been doing it for decades. Every church, every fellowship does it. We always have two parts. One is we have committed to our friends at KXCR to raise funds for them. I talked to Edie last night. Edie reads poetry and does poetry at KXCR. And she wanted me to share with you how much she appreciates the opportunity to have that venue to share her joy. So we ask you to consider your financial contribution to KXCR, our community partners, so they can keep doing this and finding more Edies of the world and the Ruth Bumrockers who do the volunteering. So as we pass the basket, we have two places to give. One is for KXCR, our only community radio station, non-commercial, here in Florence, and as well as our own fellowship, where we're always striving to keep our budget healthy, keep our funds flowing, to make sure that we have enough to do what we want to do. Whether it's going live streaming, that's my public service announcement. I want to do live streaming soon. How about you? I want to stay at home if I have to be at home and watch it live instead of recorded at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So money for that, money for our renovation, money for the things that we need to stay open and bring quality people like Reverend Donna Smith to us. So we're going to pass a basket. I'm going to ask Catherine on this side if you'd help. I'm sorry, can't remember your name. Bonnie. Bonnie, will you help on the other side? Thank you. I'm pointing at you, Bonnie, but I'm struggling with names. And I ask that you repeat after me as we continue to move forward with this offering. That divine love through me.
Divine love through me.
Blesses and multiplies all that I am.
Blesses and multiplies all that I am.
All that I give.
All that I give.
And all that I receive.
All that I receive.
I am prosperous now.
I am prosperous now.
Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Jeff's going to play some music, and we'll pass this back and forth, and I'll meet you back up here in just a few minutes. What are you playing, Jeff?
Water over stone.
Water over stone. KXCR. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Truly, your contributions are received in grateful appreciation. Judy, would you like to help extinguish the flame? We extinguish this flame with the closing words by Michael Schuler. We have reached the end of this time for the gathering of memory and for letting the imagination play with future possibilities. We have enjoyed magic moments and edified each other. Shall we be concluded then? Or will this adventure, now commenced, continue? Our separate paths converging, meeting, merging in the unending quest for love more perfect, the joyous struggle for the meaning more sufficient and life more abundant. Is this ending to be an ending or merely prelude to new, more glorious beginnings? I pose the questions. In your hearts lie the answers. Blessed be. So before we sing our peace song, I want to conclude with these closing words that Donna gave to us. Don't know the author? One of the greatest things about joy is that it is contagious. Joyful people spread joy all around them, almost as if they would offer it as a gift. They see joy everywhere and they multiply it by their very own existence. Be joyful. So I invite you, if you're here for the first time, we gather around in a big circle around our chairs and we sing our peace song. The words are on the back of the program. If you don't want to sing, you can just stand there because nobody's going to know the difference. You have a mask on. But gather around in a big circle. If you feel comfortable, hold hands. If not, it's fine. We want to make everybody feel comfortable as we sing our peace song. So Jeff will lead us in the peace song. And remember, Catherine will be over in the side room here offering affirmative prayer. Donna will be in our library to bring us some more conversation about today's message. Are you ready, Jeff?
Be my